So hey, it's Walter. We've just recorded a video to try to give you an idea of what to expect on Sunday. We don't want you to have any surprises. We want you to be able to make an informed decision about whether you're going to come or not. So please watch the video all the way through, and I think you'll learn a lot. So Bob, what are things going to look like when people show up at church? How are they going to come into the building, and what things are going to be going on there?
Okay, so when somebody's driving up, we're recommending that people park on the east side. We'll have the doors open so you won't have to be touching handles or anything like that. You'll walk in, you'll be welcomed. There'll be a hand sanitizer available so you can wash your hands if you're needing to. We'll have some masks available if you did not bring yours.
Okay.
As you enter into the auditorium, you're going to find a table, and there'll be the implements for the communion available.
Will you pick those up, or will someone hand those to you?
Actually, you'll be picking them up. They'll be laying on the table there. There'll be a baggie, and in the baggie there'll be the cup, and there'll be the cracker.
Okay.
And you can just pick that up, and then somebody will hand you a bulletin, and then you'll go and find your seat. And the seats will be marked what's available for people to sit at. So, Walter, what's it going to look like in the auditorium? How are people going to find their seats, and how's the family going to be able to sit together?
Yeah, so we think we have things very clearly marked. We've used PVC pipe, which marks the pews that are open and the marks that aren't open. Things are set up where there's places for families and also places for single people or couples. One of the things you need to understand is that if your family comes in and it doesn't look like there's enough room on that pew, you can move the PVC pipe and make room for your family. We don't want to separate families in any way. But there will also be people here to help answer any questions you have and help you find seating. So be looking for helpful volunteers throughout the time that we're coming into the auditorium to help us understand kind of where we should sit and where we shouldn't sit.
So what about the auditorium being full? Where's the overflow? What are we going to do?
And that's something that we really don't have a great feel for right now. But the auditorium can hold 150 people. If we have more than 150 people, then we're going to divert people into the fellowship hall. We can handle about another 40 people in there. That will be a live stream in the fellowship hall. And so that will take us up to 190 people. We've sent you a one question poll that you'll see along with this email and this video that you're watching right now. And we have that in your hands so that you can let us know if you're planning on coming, after you've watched this video and read the letter. And if so, how many people in your family are coming? And that will really help us know if we need to make additional accommodations for more people. But at this point, we think 190 people will be sufficient for those who will show up.
And so you talk about the live stream. So if I'm at home and don't feel comfortable, will I be seeing the same thing?
Yeah, you'll be as if you're here with us. Everything that people are experiencing here in the auditorium, you'll be experiencing at home. You'll see exactly the same thing as they're seeing. And so you can just feel like you're sitting in your regular pew at home and worshiping right along with the rest of your church family.
What's the service going to look like?
So if you've been watching the YouTube channel, it's going to look a lot like that service. About the same length of time. We will be broadcasting pre-recorded music just like you've seen when you've been at home worshiping with us. The sermon will be about the same length, which I'm sure many people will appreciate. It won't be a very long sermon. We'll keep things to that length. So things are going to look very much like what they have looked like over the last several weeks as we've been broadcasting into your homes.
Okay. Well, what about the nursery or Bible classes or anything like that?
Unfortunately, we're just not able to offer those at this time. The occupancy limits are just so small, and the requirements to keep things clean and sanitized are so great that we're just not able to do that. So it will just be the worship service for now. Hopefully things will open up in the future. We'll be able to start offering those again, but for the time being, we won't be having Bible classes and the nursery will not be open.
What are we going to do about the singing?
Also a good question, Bob. So we know that when the music starts up, the temptation is going to be to pull off your mask and sing out. But we also want you to know that the most dangerous thing that you could possibly do for the congregation that's here is to sing out with your mask off. So we're really encouraging you to keep your mask on while we have the music going.
We'll have the sermon, we'll have the communion. How is it going to be different?
Well, it's going to be very different. We've done everything we can to make sure that people stay safe with our communion while still honoring our communion service. So what you'll find out is that as you walk into the building, you'll be handed a baggie, In that baggie will be a cup of juice and a cracker. You'll take that to the pew with you. At the appropriate time, we'll eat the bread and we'll drink the wine. Then as you exit, you'll find a place for you to drop your bag in, so a trash receptacle at that point. Nearby to that will be a large green box that says contribution on it. So that's where you'll be able to drop your contribution at that time. So you want to have your checks or your cash or whatever ready as you're exiting at that point, so that we don't bottleneck as we're leaving the building. Also should note that that communion is going to be prepared by someone who's going to have on a mask and gloves. So it won't be touched by anybody other than one person who we know does not have any symptoms and also has on a mask and gloves.
So as we open up the doors again, I'm going to be anxious to be able to see all the people again and shaking hands and hugging. Is that allowed?
Well, it's like an extrovert's nightmare, right? We haven't seen people for a long time and we're really going to be excited to see them. And so the natural instinct is going to be to hug and to kiss and to enjoy each other's company that way, but we really want people to be very conscious of the fact that not everybody feels the same way that you do. So let's say kind words. Let's give people eye smiles and maybe a little elbow bump. And that's as good as a hug for now. So Bob, are there some people who really shouldn't plan on coming to services on Sunday?
Great question. You know, it's really great that we're able to open up the congregation and have some group worship. But the fact is that there are a lot of people with some conditions, some risks, that we don't want them to be exposed to any hazards. And so we're asking everybody to take a look at those risks, and if you fall into one of those categories, don't feel obligated that you have to come. In fact, my in-laws have some of those risks, and I'm recommending that they not come until some other time down the road.
All right, good to know. So Bob, is there going to be anything special about the way that we exit the building when services are over?
Yes, we still want to maintain that social distancing. And so we will be directed. There'll be somebody who'll be saying, this row will need to go out. And we'll have separate doors for different parts of the congregation. And we'll go through that as we're letting the people go. But we still want to maintain that social distancing. Please don't congregate towards the end of the auditorium or down in the fellowship hall or anywhere. Let's get outside into the fresh air and be able to minimize any exposures.